Hi everyone, here is my 10th video message related to COVID-19. We are on March 27th, 2020, 3 p.m. No new person infected in Gaspé according to the latest information. As we can see, the more people follow the instruction, the better it is. But we are not exempted from new cases. We must continue to respect the government's instructions. Thank you again to everyone who respects the instructions, and thank you to all the people who continue to provide our essential services. Together, we are going to get out of it. So my message of the day will relate to 4 short subjects. 1. Regional coordination efforts. 2. Cancellation of Orleans Express transport. 3. A little prevention of various scams going on. And 4. A message from our groceries that asks you to help them, for helping you. First, I must tell you that elected officials and several actors in the region are very active in coordinating our efforts. This morning, under the leadership of the table of prefects, there were 34 of us by video conference to share economic information on measures to support our businesses and citizens, ministries, institutions, elected officials, etc. I can assure you that everyone is in a helping mode and is planning support for businesses and workers during and after the crisis in all sectors. I was also at the conference of mayors of several towns of the eastern Quebec, always to share information on our good measures and to help each other to take decisions. And since last night, we have phones with public health and various stakeholders to align and coordinate new actions that will be announced shortly. Second subject. After Air Canada announced the suspension of their flights, it's not the time for Keolis or Orleans Express to announce the temporary closure of their services. I never thought I would have to say that in my life, but these days I'm happy to see interregional transport suspended, as long as it's temporary, evidently. It may become a problem for some of you, but if we want to limit interregional travel as much as possible, Keolis is, in spite of itself, helping us. For those who have a basic need that necessitate transport, I'm convinced that you will find a solution, either via the CISSS for health-related travel or via another carrier for transport of goods. Third subject. I want to do some prevention against scams. In time of crisis, there are always scammers who take advantage of people's vulnerability. If you receive an SMS or an email saying you that is from the government or a bank asking for personal information, it's a scam. The government or your bank will never ask you for personal information by email, and they will never text you. Also, if you subscribe to a mobile application to follow supposedly the live progress of the coronavirus, it's also a scam or a virus. Do not open and delete that. I invite you to trust only official information, the regional and national medias, the various governments, federal, provincial, or municipal. Be cautious. Finally, I have a special request from our groceries. I am sure that it also applies to pharmacies, hardware stores, or to the other few open businesses. You remind the government asked to reduce your trips to the strict minimum. It means planning your trips. The grocers asked me to encourage you to plan your shopping as much as possible, so that you have to go to the grocery store once or twice a week maximum. Plan your purchases. They also tell me that in this particular period, the grocery store should not be a family or a couple outing. So if possible, grocers ask you to go only one family member at a time. We don't go there as a family or as a couple. unless it's really necessary. These simple measures will reduce the number of people in the stores and at the same time reduce the risk of contamination while making life easier for our merchants in managing the queues in the shops. Thank you for collaboration. To conclude, I once again remind you the reference number for questions on COVID or for an appointment for screening tests, 1-877-644-4545, or on the website quebec.ca/coronavirus. And I still remind you of the essential measures. If you return from a trip, it's compulsory quarantine. Avoid human contacts and stay 2 meters or 6 feet from anyone. Wash your hands frequently. Avoid any gathering. Decrease your presence in public places to the bare minimum. Pay by credit card, and for people over 70 who have a chronic disease, stay at home. It may be paradoxical for the volunteers that our organizations recruit, but the voluntary effort that is currently required is to provide absolutely essential services to vulnerable people. These volunteers must respect all the others' instructions, and they are a part of the exceptions, as are health workers, water operators, or the police, for example. So, those who want to volunteer to help people, it's still www.jebénévole.ca. So, www.jebénévole.ca. And there are still 5 essential needs targeted by our CAB on the web platform, especially for Anglophone people. You can also offer your services to Vision Gaspé personnel. Thank you for your help and thank you for respecting the instructions. It's important. Every action counts. It's going to be fine. Thank you for your attention.